All right, we are so excited because our beloved Dondi is about to be back January 7th, and we are blessed once again to talk to our friend, the host of Deal or No Deal Island, coming back for season 2, Joe Manganiello. Joe, how are you?
I'm fantastic. As you can see, I'm not on a tropical island. Snow in the background, but I'm just cooling off because season 2
It's too hot.
It's
Yes.
so hot.
Yes. Okay. Well, Joe, thank you for coming back. And I just I hope that you know that I mean, this is basically Dondi Central here. Myself, Jenny, Chappell, that we consider ourselves to be the foremost authorities on all things Deal or No Deal Island.
Listen, I feel that way too. That's why I'm here. That's why last year I watched your podcast. I was a fan of this podcast, and I called NBC and said, you got to call them. I want to go on the show. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Joe. And great to have you back. And we're so excited for Deal or No Deal Island season 2 for a variety of reasons. But let's hear from you. Why should everybody be so excited?
Well, you know, I'm a man of secrecy. I like to keep people in the dark. You only give them the information that they need to know.
You're hanging out with the banker too much.
Yeah, but hey, my network decided to put the teaser out that gave away or teased a big event, a historical event. You see me in the first trailer talking about us giving away the biggest prize in television history. Television history. All of the game shows, all of the competition reality series episodes, the biggest prize in television history. So whether you're a fan of this genre or not, how could you not want to tune in and see that?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm already doing the math like in my head, which is not something I should be doing to figure out where we're going with this. And I'm very excited to see who's going to get whatever this giant prize is going to be.
It is one of the single most unbelievable things I've ever witnessed in my lifetime.
Ooh.
You know, we'll, I'm sure, talk again, but you know, when I think about this show and I think about, you know, my job when I go on a talk show or I go on a podcast, and I'm supposed to entice people and make them excited about watching the show. And what I do is I tease this big final case.
Yeah.
Last year, the final case was almost $14 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you tune in so you can see if someone wins this $14 million case. But when you really think about it, when you really do the math, someone would have to be a complete psycho to go all the way down and refuse every single offer to get to that final case. You think, I feel a bit disingenuous teasing that because there's just no way. It's like you'd have to be a maniac. You'd have to keep, I mean, you think about last year, you think about Jordan would have to keep that case in place. So you're watching an unbelievable amount of luck play out, but then you're also watching her say no to $1.2 million. She'd have to say no to 2.2, 3.2, 4.2. She'd have to keep saying no to all of those numbers to ride that coaster all the way. It's impossible, right? Well, not anymore. The most insane, we found that psychopath.
Okay.
And you will watch the most unbelievable, insane thing you'll ever see. Me, red, bleary-eyed, sweating, 3 in the morning in the jungle, like freaking out because it is the most unbelievable thing you'll ever see.
Joe, I have to say, like, one of the big successes of the first season was, I think for some people, the unexpected excellent cast and the gameplay that came along with it. Obviously, we had Boston Rob, which was like the big draw. But then I know I'm speaking for Rob and Chappell here and the rest of the audience, obviously, but we were really like surprised and excited and drawn in by a lot of the other characters. I don't want to speak too soon, but obviously we've got a couple big names coming. But I'm feeling, even just by like the trailer and some of the promo we've seen, I think we've got some stars in the making coming down the pipe here. I want to hear your feelings about this cast.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we have 3 champions this year. You've got Parvati, the Black Widow, one of the great Survivor champions ever. And let me tell you something. She is back to form. Like she is. I don't know, she's got the bikini back on, and that's like her power, like when she in it, like she is fully dropped.
It was too cold at the Traders Manor. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's
like it was
yeah.
kind of her out of her element, but she is back. You've got an Australian Survivor champion.
Yes.
And so a lot of the people in the United States are disconnected from
not us.
From that game. You're not, but a lot of people are. A lot of people don't even know that game exists.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity. We were very curious to see how far David could fly under the radar. And of course, my job is to sit back and let things unfold. And it was fascinating to watch that play out and watch him have the opportunity to play the game. I will say that there are people, or a person or people, who did recognize him, which then gives the opportunity of a team up. I'll keep your secret, So it's that's fun. And then you've got Dr. Will, the greatest Big Brother champion of all time.
I would say,
I'd agree.
Yeah. So I mean, and he. The only way I can describe him, I did describe him as the Joker. He's the Joker in Nolan's Batman movie. He's an agent of chaos, and he really shakes things up. He's fantastic as a character in this game. Yeah, and then you've got the rest of the cast. You've got a very sassy Puerto Rican flight attendant who's afraid of heights. Who you see in the trailer go after someone with some very colorful language. She's from the Bronx. So she was one of my favorites the whole time. You've got, for fans of Aaron.
Yes.
There's kind of a new Aaron, maybe sort of Aaron adjacent, in Dixon.
New era Aaron.
How dare you?
And then, I mean, the rest of it, we have a 6-foot tall, former professional wrestling model, who's a bit of a challenge beast. We got some challenge beasts this season. We've got a guy who runs a Barry's boot camp, who also was an exotic dancer at one point. So we've kind of got a real life Magic Mike.
Real life, yeah.
Yeah, we have a poker player. We have a poker player who is also a banker.
Oh, a new banker to hate.
Who hides her identity. So there's actually kind of 2 bankers, on the island. And then from there, you're gonna like we teased in the trailer, this greatest game of Deal or No Deal ever, and this historic moment in game show history. But you're also going to see the worst contestant in game show history.
Wow.
So it's like, you're just going to hold your head, which is equally as entertaining. So it's a really great season. Yeah, there's like a Las Vegas corrections officer. I mean, there's a whole great cast of characters this year. A lot of people, I think that a lot of contestants that I don't think you're going to see the last of them. I think this is just the beginning. for now.
So we see a lot from season 1 to season 2. The contestants that play season 2, they've studied season 1 and they're ready to advance the gameplay. Did you find a lot of people coming in ready to put their own spin on the strategy of the game?
Yes, completely. And that's a great question and a great observation, because we definitely, in the time between season 1 and season 2, we went back and looked at the tape, and we had a lot of conversations about what we could do to spice things up, what we could do to tighten things up. And I even said it to the contestants on day 1. I just said, beware, because the strategy that could have won you season 1 is going to get you thrown out week 1 in season 2. Just when you think you have the answers, I change the questions. And it's certainly that way this season. We, for example, I think it was obvious to see that someone used the strategy where they rode the middle in season 1, and we made sure we had ways of getting them out of the middle. So you'll see some kind of advanced strategy techniques this year, and I think it's a much more strategic year and much more targeted to cause chaos and dissension, and it works. It happens.
That's great.
Yeah,
Joe, I love that. Season 1, that's our baby. Like, here, all of us, we raised season 1. I loved it. I have no complaints about DONDI season 1. But this is high praise for season 2 already. The cast that we had in season 1 was great. I love doing the extra interviews and stuff. But the way you're making it sound is like this is going to be even better than season 1. And that's just hard for me to believe.
Man, just wait. That's all I can say is just wait. It's, of course, there's that sophomore slump thing. You have a great first season. It felt like the reality gods were shining down upon us during the first season. And coming into the second season, I thought, boy, I hope we can top it. I mean, definitely when I started seeing the cast submission tapes coming in for this season, I thought, oh boy, this could be really good. This could be even way better. But until you get there, you just don't know. And as soon as it started unfolding, it was, we got the sense that, oh boy, this is like everything times 10. And I really think that the people at home are gonna sense that too. It's crazy. I mean, it's I've been so excited to talk about the season since we shot it. So this is kind of like my first opportunity, and it's a wild season.
So you have Dr. Will here, my boyhood hero, who was on a show that did not have a sophomore slump, was the winner of Big Brother 2. We know you're a big Survivor fan. What's your history with Big Brother?
I wasn't so I'm not so dialed into Big Brother. So I had to do a little bit of research into Dr. Will because I wasn't watching Big Brother when it first came out. So I went back, and it's interesting because Dr. Will took a 20-year hiatus.
Yeah,
and wouldn't do another competition series until now. So this marks his comeback. And it's just, I mean, he had a list of demands that he wanted of us. If I do this,
that's him.
We're shocked.
I need this, I need that, I need that. And, we were accommodating to his request to a point. I mean, some of them were insane. He wanted a parrot on his shoulder the entire time, just to give you an example. So we had
I'll be looking for the parrot, Joe.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, did you give in to that request, or you said no parrot?
We said no parrot, but we said yes to just about everything else. Yeah, but no parrot.
I mean, I feel like, for this to be the show that Dr. Will, finally ends his long reality TV competition hiatus in terms of competing. What a compliment for DONDI, I feel. Like, regardless of how this goes, like, the excitement that the reality TV world feels when we see that this is going to be someone on Deal or No Deal Island season 2. Like it's incredible. So I feel like that is a huge nod to what Dondi did in season 1, that this is what brings Dr. Will back to our TV.
I mean, I agree. I mean, yeah, I mean, on behalf of everyone that works on the show and all of the different teams and producers, I mean, yeah, I mean, I completely agree. And, but it also just shows you, I think that, I think the way that other people view the show, and just the simple fact that we want to put ourselves into that conversation, into that top tier of shows that if you had a chance or you had your wish of what show to go on, you'd go on ours. I mean, certainly we're proving that if you want life-changing money,
yeah,
you want to come on our show.
Clearly.
And so we structured a competition series that will attract the greatest of all the game show competitors. We want them to come here.
Joe, because I could tell you, like, being in some of those circles, like in talking with like other, reality TV people, that I think it is a very coveted spot to come back to your show because of just the sheer amount of money that is on the table. Like when Rob talks about how, like, hey, they had $7 million, $8 million, like, this is like life-changing money for some of these people that may have won some money already in their reality TV careers.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, and I'll say from there's a really great feel-good story that came out of season 1, which, everybody knows, Jordan won. And, and she's talked in a confessional very candidly about her want to have a family, and the fact that her and her husband were having difficulty. And when asked what she would do with the money if she won, she had talked about finding the best doctors in the world to begin the IVF process, and the fact that costs a lot of money, but the money could help that to happen. So she wins, and all of the pressure, I guess, all that stress and that pressure came off of her, or a level of stress and pressure came off of her in winning that money, and she winds up getting pregnant naturally.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Incredible.
wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, it's like you think of, when you think about the prize money, there's a tendency to just think of it as just money. But I now see it as something that could really change the course of the river of someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it then makes it even more exciting for me because, I've talked to Boston Rob about this. We went to go see the Eagles in Las Vegas. He and I have become like buddies. So we go and we hang out.
The band or the football team?
the band, even though my Steelers are playing the Eagles this weekend. But yes, and he and I were talking, and he was saying that when he first started playing Dondi in season 1, it was making him angry because there was an element of luck involved. And Rob likes to lock things down and have control, and that he couldn't control this luck side. But I said, Rob, if I were to pull all of your best friends and ask them who their luckiest friend is, would they all unanimously say you? And he goes, yeah. He goes, I'm super lucky. I go, great. I go, but here's the thing. Our game has that element to it that tests luck. It tests this metaphysical, invisible, ethereal principle that we all know exists. We all have our luckiest friend, and we have our most unlucky friend. We all have our friend that's Charlie Brown that can't kick that football no matter how many times Lucy puts it down. So the fact that there's a game that exists that tests that, as well as social skill, as well as strategy, that's the beauty of it to me. And this season, you see the luckiest, you see the unluckiest, and you really there's evidence for this kind of, you know, the invisible world propping up the visible. Like it's kind of in this game, and it's fascinating. Any thoughts for you, Rob, of coming out of retirement and heading to
Well, it's, you know, been over 20 years for me also. You know, that's a very enticing offer. Can I see how Dr. Will does coming out? Because maybe what if he falls flat on his face?
We'll table this. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But Rob, like that's not the only example you should be looking at, Rob. You know what I mean? Like, well, I mean, we saw how Boston Rob did last season, and
but he plays a show every other 6 months.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, you should at least consider, you know, the banker's offer here.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I want to keep opening cases, keep going. All right. But we had the big reveal in last season that Howie was the banker. Will banker Howie be going back to being back in the shadows, or will he, now that he has unmasked himself, is he now a fixture?
You will hear from Howie at some point. But we have a new banker on the island.
Aaron's back, baby. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to spoil it.
There is a new banker. So let the guessing game begin.
Ooh. Joe, I just want to say you're giving like so much banker energy in this interview.
Yes,
I'm just
feeling like
I know that there were already theories last season, like, is Joe just the banker? I'm just saying.
Yes, we love that. I love it. This is great. I love that your cast was so strong last season that here we are, like, literally talking about, like, you know, what happens this season? What do we have? A new banker? Do we have new twists? Do we have new turns? We got these big names. We got the biggest cases ever. And then you have to do it again next year, because we're always going to be coming back looking for DONDI. DONDI is a war cry around these RHAP streets, okay? We say DONDI with pride, and we're waiting on you to top it next time. So I'm very excited for season 2.
Yeah. No, I think you're gonna love it. I think you're gonna flip out. I think it's great, and like I said, and I think all of the relationships are great too. I mean, as you can also see from the trailer, there's some romance happening on that island as well.
Love Island.
So,
okay. Yeah.
There's some hooking up.
Joe, we're so happy that the powers that be didn't make us wait until the spring, that this is when we are ready for DONDI to get, comes back at the beginning of the year, better time slot. This is it. This is going to be, DONDI is going to now, I think, be even bigger this season.
Great. Yeah, that's the thing. I found that a lot of my friends' kids would ask to watch DONDI. So what do you want to watch? I want to watch Dealer No Delano. I go, really? You do? You know, these little kids. So you know, it's something that we wanted to make sure the families could watch together this year. And so, you know, we bumped the time slot up. So which is great. Because everybody's going to be able to watch it next day on Peacock, but you know, in its 9 o'clock time slot, families going to get to watch it together. Which was a knock last season, and then of course, but the premiere is 2 hours. It's going to start at 8 o'clock.
All right. Well, we can't wait, Joe. We're going to be there every step of the way for DONDI season 2. Anything else you want to make sure that people know?
Oh my gosh! I mean, I feel like I've teased enough. I mean, you know, we're going to talk more. I just want to tell people out there how much I love your show. And how excited I am. And I really think that a lot of the success heading into season 2 had to do with your excitement for the show. You all got it. And to have really strategic, game-minded reviewers review our show, it meant a lot.
thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. And listen, you know what notes to play to be able to get people like us excited about a show. So keep up the good work. We can't wait to see what you all have in store for season 2.
Okay, I will see you on the island starting January 7th.
Okay. All right. See you soon. And thanks so much, Joe.
Sure. Thank you. Great talking to you.